Welcome to Catching the Light. I'm here again with my good friend Warren, who has once again been good enough to travel here to Seneca Falls to the studio to do another show with me. How you doing, bud?
Doing all right, man. I'm doing better than I was before. I think I was just at the end of the year blues, the post-Christmas blues, and now I'm reinvigorated by the new year of the 2015.
How's 2015 treating you so far?
As they say in upstate New York, same day, different clouds. So I mean, it's like when Bill Murray in Groundhog Day when he says it's going to be cold, it's going to be long, it's going to last you the rest of your life. Yeah. That's pretty much winter in the Northeast.
It's a lot of gray. It's a big gray blanket that just hovers over you for a long time.
But honestly, I'm fine because the year is percolating along and I think it's heading in a good direction. So
good.
Yeah,
it's optimistic.
I'm feeling optimistic today.
Another reason for optimism is youth, right? Don't you love kids? Don't you love kids?
I actually don't.
Okay, we've got one here.
I know. I never.
We've got one here in the studio with us again.
You're good with that. I never know what to say to them.
You don't?
I don't. I meet because I have little nieces and nephews, and they look at me like, do something, like play with me.
Yeah.
And I just kind of awkwardly look at them, and I remember I met my niece for the first time I became an uncle. And I met her. I came back from L.A. and she was already like 4, and she was just looking at me like, waiting. And I said, "So, do you think we should stay in the Middle East?" Or, and she's like, "What?" Yeah. And I was looking at the adults like, "Help me out here."
Yeah.
So I really am not. I'm not that good with.
I feel bad for you because that means that you don't have this connection that I have with my niece. Jackie, how are you?
I'm great, I guess.
Good. Did you see the connection that we have?
Yeah,
it's such a great connection.
The chemistry's undeniable. Yeah.
That sounded sarcastic. So last time you were here, we were talking a little bit about relationships in Los Angeles, and we really didn't get into too much debauchery.
No,
I mean, maybe it was hinted at, but more than anything, I think we just basically talked about what was going on in our lives at that time and the way that what we thought it was going to be like and the way that it really was, and just more chaos. I mean, every show we do, the running theme, I think, seems to be a lot of chaos. Mm-hmm. But sometimes chaos isn't necessarily a bad thing. Chaos can be good.
If you're living a buttoned up life in the suburbs, hating your job, chaos is liberating. It's
right.
I was looking for chaos. When I got to LA, it's amazing how they always say, alcohol releases inhibitions. I thought that whole city, that the air was an intoxicant. The city released my inhibitions because whoever could possibly judge me was 3,000 miles away. So it didn't matter what I did. And so I started saying yes a lot. And I felt like in my old life, in my buttoned up workaday world life, I was saying no a lot. People would say, like, hey, do you want to go to a party? And I'd say, no, I got to grade papers. And they'd say, do you want to go? We're going to have a band, and we're going to have a bar band. You want to play in our bar band? And I'd say, no, with the lesson plans and everything, and I got school in the morning, and I was just always saying no. And I got to L.A.
Every time I asked you to take a nap with me, you said no.
You
said no a lot.
That was unrelated, but...
Go ahead, sorry.
I remember the first time I said yes in L.A., and it felt strange to me. I was with my roommate at the time, and before you, Stefan, and he said, he goes, man, you know what I could go for right now? I said, what's that? He said, some Thai food. Now, being from the suburbs, I didn't know what that even was. What's Thai? And I said, Thai food? He goes, yeah, have you ever had it? No. He goes, you've never had Thai food? Do you want to go get some Thai food? And I said, it's 11 o'clock at night. He goes, I know. I said, on a Wednesday. He said, I know. Do you want to go get some? And I said, yes, I want to go get Thai food at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. That's a great idea. And we went to this place called Toy on Sunset, and it was amazing. And it was the best food I ever had. I mean, best Thai food. Never had Thai food. It was just amazing stuff. And we got back at like 1 a.m, and I was tired the next day. But man, I felt alive. I know it sounds weird because it's actually not that debaucherous, but for me, who was living by the rules, going out to eat at that hour. I remember the next time, it was Chris and Stefan, and we were eating at this restaurant called Claim Jumper. Do you know Claim Jumper?
I remember Claim Jumper.
And
they have frozen dinners too.
They do?
Yes, they do.
I remember they said, you know what we should do tonight? We should go to Vegas. And I said, I've never been to Vegas. And they're like, you've never been to Vegas? What? Let's go right now. And I said, well, hold on a second. How far away is Vegas? And they said, well, it's a 4-hour drive if you really, really pushing the edge. Get there in 4 hours. And I said, but it's a Tuesday. And they said, I know. I said, but it's 8 o'clock. And they're like, here's what we do. We leave the restaurant now. We get there at midnight. We gamble till 3. We get back at 7, go straight to Starbucks, get some coffee, go straight to work. No one will be the wiser. Do you want to go to Vegas? And I was so close to being, nah. And then I said, yes, I'd like to go to Vegas at 8 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. It was remarkable, and it was so freeing. And I went, and I lost my shirt, and I got crushed, but it didn't matter. It was so enlivening. It was like fuel to the spirit. I remember my buddy David, we were sitting around, and he goes, you know what I've always wanted? And I said, what's that? And he said, leather pants. And I said, I've always wanted leather pants too.
Oh, God, I remember when you bought those pants.
They look so... I was just thinking of Mike Reno from Loverboy and the Working for the Weekend video. He had red. I was like, that's amazing. He goes, do you want to go out right now and get leather pants? And I said, I didn't have to think about this. But I was like, yes, I would like to go buy leather pants.
Eddie
right
Murphy
now.
Delirious, Eddie Murphy Raw.
Oh, my God. And we went out to some place on, I think it was Fairfax, Melrose, probably Melrose. And I bought leather pants. And, man, they still have, they fit. They're just so cool, and just
I remember those pants.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I do.
It was just that's just the kind.
Were
of
they
thing.
leather or pleather?
No, they were
They
leather.
were real leather?
They were leather.
Okay.
But man, oh man, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, what kind of, did you have times where you just, it was put in front of you and you don't even think about it, you just say yes, and you just.
Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do. You touched on it, that when you come from a smaller town, when everyone knows who you are, everyone sort of knows your every movement. Certainly, you're under the thumb of your parents. Suddenly, we're 3,000 miles away, and nobody really has any idea what it is that you're doing day in, day out. So that in and of itself was liberating. You go to sleep whenever you want, you wake up whenever you want. We had jobs, but I felt so off the beaten path. I felt so far off of everyone's radar. And not that we were doing anything, criminal or anything too debaucherous, I don't think, but just that in and of itself. I always found the ability to just sort of get up and, go down the street, go to the store, go to Starbucks, go to the gym, and not have one person tap me on the shoulder. I liked that. I liked knowing that I could.
Because you're anonymous.
Because I'm anonymous. Right. Since I've been back, there are good things and bad things. Small town, big city. Small town, I've driven down the street and had someone text my phone, "Hey, where are you going?" Where are you going?
They're right next to you.
You're going north on Fall Street. Where are you going? That has been a difficult transition for me.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I remember one night you and I were out in Hollywood, and I don't remember the name of the bar. I do remember when we got to the bar. Do you remember the guy walked over? I was parking the car. You were in the passenger seat. It was my car. I probably had dragged you out. Talk about saying yes. Back east, you did say no a lot more. I would say, "Come on, I'll come to Brockport. We'll blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And oftentimes I'm too tired. In LA, I was able to get you out sometimes.
Yeah.
And I remember the guy comes over. He says, "Hey, we were going to park here. You came up and you stole my spot." And I said, "Yeah, that's fine, man. Whatever. You got it." And I remember, do you remember this? He looks at us. He goes, "Attitude. What an attitude."
I don't remember this.
Yeah. And he said, he was an actor or a model or whatever he was. And I think his plates were like Indiana or something like that. And I remember as he walked away, he's like, "Everyone in LA is much of a jerk." Yeah. So that was the beginning of the night. But I remember at the end of the night, we went in and had a couple drinks. We were leaving. We're walking down maybe Hollywood Boulevard, Santa Monica, Fairfax. Maybe it was Fairfax. And you said, just on a whim, you said, "You want to get your palm read?"
Oh,
Remember Chapamra?
Yes, I do remember that.
And I was like, yes.
Yeah. We're at the three
Yes.
of clubs. We're at the three of clubs.
The Three of Clubs.
Yeah.
They demolished that place, but it's not there anymore. But,
It's not?
Yep, no. And we walked in, and there was what would you call her? A spiritualist? A palm reader?
Tarot palm reader.
A gypsy?
Crystal ball.
Yeah,
the whole thing. Yeah.
A seer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're great with kids, man. Don't
Yeah.
don't let that get you down.
You see that look? See how much? Wow! Look at the admiration in her eyes.
Yeah.
God, he loves me. But that was your idea, and that was about the most whimsical, spontaneous thing I'd ever.
And I don't
seen
even
you
believe
do.
in that.
Right.
That stuff.
Just,
but it
we're
was like,
here. It's not something that we could do in Syracuse or Seneca Falls, New York.
Let's just do that. Let's just
Yeah.
do that once. You know.
And I remember she said, and maybe this is a little off the beaten path, but I remember I walked in. You did yours first.
Yeah.
You walked out, and I sat down. And she says, your parents are no longer together, and you have 2 siblings. And I was like, whoa. Well, I mean, right out of the gate,
Wow.
she hit them both. Now, the divorce rate, I think, is
it's over 50%.
more than right. So
She's
you're
got it
flipping
good.
a coin.
Yeah.
And maybe what is the nuclear family in America? 2.7
2.5
kids.
kids, like
Okay,
you're
all
the
right.
0.5,
She's going
sure.
with the numbers, probably, but I thought that was impressive. You know? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she said, for $700, I can do a whole past lives reading for you.
$700. $700.
Yeah.
Or something like
something like that. Yeah.
Well, for me, I remember she said, "Do you have any kids?" And I was like, "No." She goes, "I wouldn't be so sure about that." And I was like, what's that supposed to mean? And she said, "Well," I said, "Don't you think someone would have told me I have a kid?" And
she said, well, $700.
Yeah.
Actually,
she said, "Well, there might have been a situation where someone was pregnant and no,
Wow.
and then wasn't." And I was like, "What are you telling me?" Like it was the worst ever because how are you supposed to argue out of that? Like at least with you, they say, "Hey, your parents are no longer together." If it wasn't true, you'd be like, "Nope, my parents are happy as clams."
Yeah.
But for me, I can't argue that because I can't prove that she's wrong.
Yeah.
I was just bothered by the
Yeah, well,
whole
she did
thing.
say one bothersome thing to me too. She said, "I think there's something wrong with your blood."
No, she did not.
Yeah.
She did not say that.
She did say that. That just came back to me.
Come on.
So her method must have been pull you in with some optimism, and she can impress you with doing the numbers and good guesses, and then maybe make you a little worried about something. And if you're so worried, maybe you'll pay a little more to figure out what's going on.
I mean, I don't know. I don't remember any good news out of that thing.
And then the last thing she said to me was, she goes, "By the way, your buddy that you came in with, he's in love with you."
Yeah, right. I think it would have been great if I had gone. See, I don't remember you not being in the room. Were you not in the room for me?
It was separate. It was private readings.
How amazing would it have been if I had slid her like an index card with only things that
that would have been amazing.
And she would have looked on it.
My head would have exploded.
She just would have said, "So, when you fill up for gas, you only put in like $2 at a time." Interesting. Interesting.
And $2 was a good week. $2 was a week where I had a really great Saturday night.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think there were weeks where I went to the gas station 18 times.
I believe you.
Yeah. The attendant would be like, "Oh, just take it. Just take it just for free. Just get out of here."
I mean, the saying yes thing, the constantly saying yes thing is not. I never went overboard. It was not like, "Hey, here's some nice crack. Would you like some crack?" And I was like, "Yes, I've always wanted crack." I actually drew the line pretty.
You've
pretty
always
shallow.
been sensible. I mean, yeah.
I mean,
within reason.
Were you ever? Did you ever feel like you said yes and it was outside the bounds of reason, or were you also measured and?
Well, we probably would both agree that even back in our early days, I was always a little more careless.
You were more
than you.
You were more of a risk taker.
Yeah. I was not risk averse.
Right.
I think I am much more so as I've gotten older.
Well, I mean, I was stunned when you told me you walked up to a particular celebrity at that bar that time just to say hello, and I was like, "You did?" Like there were things that it always seemed like if you went out with Ray, you never quite knew where you were going to end up, at the end of the, like you could end up at this person's place or at this other bar or back at your place with 10 other people, or you might meet 3 new people. There was always, you kind of had, I don't want to say mystery, but you just never knew what you were really in for, because I feel like you went out on a given night with absolutely no cares to where it could possibly end up, and completely open to whatever could happen.
You once likened my life to a roller coaster.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did. You did.
It wasn't during one of my more poetic comparisons, I take it.
I think you and I were arguing at the time, actually. Yeah. And I actually remember the thing that I said to you, which was even worse. I said, your arguments, they're as predictable as the rain.
Oh boy, so we were both bringing out the big metaphorical guns.
except that's an awful metaphor, because the rain is not predictable. I think what I meant to say was sunrise, sunset.
Oh, okay.
I remember you said you were so happy in the moment you said, well, the rain's not that predictable, but whatever you say. And I was like, oh, damn it.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, what were there times when you just the night ended up in a way you did not see that?
Working at the restaurant, we would deal with 6 hours of being, having fingers wagged at us and being told what to do and racing around and really just being demeaned and feeling like you're this big.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, by 10:30, 11 o'clock, whether it was a Tuesday night or a Saturday night, it was time to go and shake off all that grime and
Mm-hmm.
go do something fun.
Mm-hmm.
I was always up for that. I think I always had this sense that, our youth was fleeting.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't going to live forever. We weren't going to be living in LA forever. And let's do this now. Let's take advantage of this now when we're young and we have this. I mean, I don't feel the same. My energy, it used to be this reservoir of energy it was like endless. It just was always on tap. Now every day that I wake up, I don't know. I might not have enough energy to go to the mailbox. Whether I'm going to work out or not, I don't know. But at that time, late 20s, it was always like, you want to go into Hollywood? Yes. You want to go to this club? Yes. You don't want to miss out, because you could. And the other thing is, you don't know. I remember one night I said no to a couple of my buddies who were going into Hollywood to see a band play.
Yeah.
And it was one of the few times I remember saying, nah, I don't want. I'm tired. They hung out with Coldplay that night.
Get out of here.
Yeah. They
hung out with Coldplay.
The one guy was from London. Raj was from London, and he knew someone who knew blah blah blah, who knew Chris Martin.
Oh my God!
So the next day they were strolling at like 7 o'clock in the morning because they were having waffles on Sunset Strip with the bass player who was still hanging out with them and the drummer, whatever.
Oh
and
my God!
That was one of those moments where, like, that's exactly why I don't say no, because that could happen on any given night in that city.
I mean, I remember you asked me like one night, do you want to go to San Diego? We were going to go see an old roommate. And I was just, with no warning, like, to me, you'd think, I'm going to go to a new city I've never been to, several hours away. Don't I need to pack and think about this? And it was just like, yep, let's go. No warning. San Francisco. I remember it was like you and Charlie, hey, we're going up. Like, then let's go to San Francisco. No warning. Again, we're just getting in a car and we're just going. Did you ever I never made it to Tijuana. Did you make it to Tijuana?
I went to Tijuana.
You did?
I did go to Tijuana.
Was that on one of those spur of the moment?
Yeah, that was early on. Yes.
What was that like?
It's funny, and that's a great example of something that I probably wouldn't do now. Now, at 40, I probably would be afraid to go down there, and somehow, even if I stayed away from the water, a droplet of it would somehow get into my pores, or it would touch my lip, and then I would get sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
But at the time, no, we went across the border for like an hour. We shopped. I think I got like a belt. I got some Don Quixote handcrafted thing for my mother, and then we came back over. We did it just to do it.
Yeah, right.
Just to do it. Just to say that we could do it.
Who were you with?
Jenny B.
So it was, oh, wow.
Long time ago.
Did you make it to Catalina?
You know something? I never went to Catalina.
I never made it. And that's one of those things that I would have said yes to, but no one asked. And I should have just taken the reins and been like, let's go out.
No one ever talks about Catalina Island. No one ever talks about it.
But it's a rite of passage. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
Everyone who gets out there takes the boat and you spend the night.
Never did it.
Party. I mean, I just I would, if I could go back, I would definitely say, maybe start, instead of saying yes to everybody, start asking the questions. Start being the one being like, let's go do that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's part of the maturation process, isn't it? Now that we're older, it's, when you're younger, everything is really sort of focused on you, right? I mean, it's on you, and as you get older, you realize the world's a lot bigger, and
it's like Glenn Close says in The Natural, I believe we have two lives, the one we learn with and the one we live with after that. And with that, I give you your niece, who's going to read some movie quotes, because it is that time.
You ready for this?
Sure. I'm always like so down low. I'm like, sure.
Yeah. All right,
like you guys were talking about, you're like, let's go do something fun. I was like, sure.
All right, well,
Like I'll say yes, but I'll go like, sure.
we'll get up. Get your energy up. All right, no more down low. Get up and get ready for these quotes. Now we have a new rule in place.
Yes.
If you laugh, and you can't intentionally try to suppress your laughter. If you have a visceral reaction to one of these quotes, or if I do, you can't suppress it on purpose.
So if you guffaw,
A guffaw,
if you chortle, if you snicker. I majored in English. I could go on all day. If
a chuckle doesn't qualify.
If you titter.
Anything more than a chuckle.
Okay.
Chortle. You know who came up with chortle? Lewis Carroll.
Did he really?
Jabberwocky.
I was going to say Don Chortle, but sorry.
Keep it up. I'm going to glumph over there and hit you.
I can't believe you know Lewis Carroll. Wow, it's impressive.
Let's do this. Let's do this, Jackie. Who's first?
It's your quote to Warren.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. No reaction.
Yes, I lied to you first, but you didn't know I was lying to you when you lied to me down by the river. So as far as you knew, you lied to me first.
Holy cow.
Sound familiar?
It does. It does. I have a feeling you're going to get me on this. Jackie, can I have that one more time, please?
The whole thing?
Yes, please. No reaction. I had no reaction.
Yes, I lied to you first, but you didn't know I was lying to you when you lied down me down by the river. So as far as you knew, you lied to me first.
Holy cow. All right, I'm going to burn off one of my lifelines.
We don't have that here, bud.
Wow, I totally that first part about lying to me first is it's my first time you've ever gotten me, I think.
Those are the immortal words of Charles Grodin.
Midnight Run?
Yes.
Oh man. Now you know
It's a bit obscure, but
I didn't
you've
fall
seen
in love with that. I know.
Okay.
That's one that you like more than I do. I only saw it the one time and it didn't, but I saw it 20 years late. I saw it in like 2005 instead of 1988.
Okay.
Gosh.
It's a great scene, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're good
I lied
actors.
to you first, but as far as you knew, when you lied to me down the river, you lied to me first. And then De Niro goes, I don't even know what you're talking about. I can't even argue with you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry.
Okay.
Eh,
all right.
it's-
No, one nothing.
It is.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, an effort to elevate the effects of the the Great Depression.
Yes! Yes! New rule. I
caught
like
me.
this new rule.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but I lose a point for laughing.
We were going to do this. Do you remember that was actually an original rule that you made up? For
And you
episode
said
1?
we're putting in too many rules, but I think now we've got such a rhythm going that we can add some rules.
And I also thought it was impossible until we handled ourselves with a little more grace.
Yeah. Good job, Jax.
You're welcome.
Get him.
Yeah.
Get him.
Wait, why did I say you're welcome? You're like, good job, Jax. I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Would-
Oh, I didn't say thank you. Well, it's
I don't know what I said.
it's suggested in good job. Thank you and good job.
Okay, you always can. I was about to
Okay.
say it to you. Okay. See how easy that was? Boom, still alive. Now we question him. You know why we question him? Because I got him in the leg. I didn't shoot him full holes or try to jump off the building with him.
Oh, my Lord.
At least you're not laughing.
No, because when my incompetence is exposed, it's not very funny to me. Can
Yeah,
I have...
you won last month. It's my turn.
Yeah, but this is a drubbing. Can I have that one more time?
Yep. See how easy that was? Boom, still alive. Now we question him. You know why we question him? Because I got him in the leg. I didn't shoot him full holes or try to jump off the building with him.
I mean, I can only imagine that's a Die Hard movie. This is crazy, and I'm gonna probably know this one better than Midnight Run, because Midnight Run is, you got me again.
I thought the end would give it away. Jump off a building with him.
That's why I said a Die Hard movie.
Lethal Weapon. I thought you'd get that one.
I mean, I've seen 2 way more times. I don't even
Okay.
know. There's no good reason for why I've seen 2 more than 1.
Well, because 2 I think is in some way superior to 1, so that's okay.
Wow, getting crushed
3 is
like this is
garbage.
not. Yeah, 3 and 4 is even.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this for, anyways?
That's is that Warren's?
This one
Yours
has
was 2
no
pages, right?
name at the top.
Yeah, probably for me then. Yeah, or
Okay.
yeah, for him from me.
I'll put this at the bottom.
All right, 2-0. Third quote.
Shoot.
E.T. Phone Home.
That's a laugh. I love these new rules.
That's a great tactic. I never thought to do that. But you didn't know that this
I
rule was in
didn't know.
place, and so why would you do that?
I was going
You
for
were
a
just gonna
laugh
okay.
regardless. I was just going for a laugh. All right, so I made you laugh twice and you stumped me twice. So are we both 0-0? Like, have either of us known anything? Because I made you laugh twice and you got me twice with stumping me. So
yeah. I
is it
guess we're at
still
0.
0?
Yeah, I guess we're still at 0.
You may have known it, except you keep laughing.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that one.
I think you knew that.
Okay.
All right, so we have 2 left, right?
No, one more.
A piece.
Right.
Right, but I mean, it's 0-0.
Yeah.
Well, what if you both got it right? It would be a tie.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, we can end in a tie. It's all right. We're not that cutthroat.
Oh.
Cutthroat Kitchen.
Come on, Jack.
All right, this one's for me, right?
Wendy, darling, light of my life, I'm not gonna hurt ya. You don't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt ya. I'm just going to bash your brains in.
This is actually kind of a guess because if it's this movie, I've only seen it 1.5 times. I'm going to go with Nicholson in The Shining.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
Wow.
I'm really mad at myself for laughing that first time. The second time, it was uncontrollable. The first one,
Sorry, I'm not a smoker. I'm not
inexcusable.
sick, but I'm
Inexcusable.
sounding pretty. All right, so if you
Hit me with it,
laugh
Jax.
during this one, I gotcha.
Yeah.
This sounds like a serious one. I don't know how I should act. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to, and the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be, sir. Do you maggots understand that? If you ladies leave my island, you will survive recruit training. You will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on earth.
Jackie, may I have that one more time, please?
Man, this is so serious. I don't like it. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to, and the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be, sir. Do you maggots understand that? If you ladies leave my island, you'll survive recruit training. You will be a weapon. You will be the minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes, the lowest form of life on earth.
Well,
You've seen it,
yeah.
and it's a highly quotable. It's one of those ones that when people know it, they've seen it 9,000 times and they quote it back and forth. But I'm guessing you maybe didn't see it 9,000 times.
I'm probably going to toss out either Full Metal Jacket or Apocalypse Now. And either could be wrong. Both could be wrong. Full Metal Jacket.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Woo.
Sergeant Hartman. Oh, tie.
It's all right.
Everyone's a loser.
That's all right. That's all right. So, thanks, Jackie. Good job.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie.
Good delivery.
Good job. Good delivery.
What was your? We've got a few minutes left here.
Only a few though. We gotta.
Yeah. What was your? Why the hurry?
Why
the hurry?
Well, I know how some people like their
Get outta
30-minute
here.
chunks. Some
Just
people
leave that.
cut their life up in 30-minute pieces.
Well, speaking of cutting our lives up,
Yeah.
what was your motivation? I mean, was there a movie? Was there a piece of literature? Was there a song? Was it an amalgam of all those things that galvanized you and saying, you know what, I want to be like that. I want to subscribe to that poem. I subscribe to the notions of that movie.
Philosophically, it was Walden by Thoreau, because he went to the woods for the same reason. He went to the woods to live, to follow the beat of his own drum, and because that's to him what a life worth living was for. And he said, I don't want to, when I come to die, find out that I hadn't lived.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me deeply. But on a more, I guess, on the silliest level, it was hearing Neil Peart play the drums and Tom Sawyer of Rush made me say, like, holy cow, it just made me feel so good. And I wanted to do that for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Or Stuart Copeland with the Police, and hearing some of those drummers, it was drums for me. Absolutely. For movies, it was Bill Murray, Chevy Chase to a lesser extent, but Bill Murray made me say, I want that world. Like there's some kind of key touchstone people. But as far as literature, it would be Walden.
I remember when I read Walden, I remember Thoreau wrote about, he used this metaphor of a train.
Yes.
And there were a bunch of men in suits. The suits are riding along in the train, and these other men are running, trying to jump onto the train, and they don't really even understand why. They don't know what they're chasing. They don't know why. It's just that's what all the other suits are doing. So they got to get on that train too. And that's that life of, that unfulfilled life where you wake up one day and your back hurts, and, your joints hurt, and all your unrealized dreams, and what was it all for? So I'm happy to say I think that we stuck around the train station for longer than most people before getting on, right?
Yeah, and well, when I think of the train metaphor, and I like to think of it almost like an adventure movie, like I was on one train, and I call it the American Dream train. The stops are high school, college, job, marriage, kids, retirement, death. They go by pretty fast because you end up sleeping through most of them. High school, college, job, marriage, kids, retirement, death. And I didn't want that ride. I stayed on that ride for high school, college, and job. And then I feel like I crawled out of the window and it was riding on top, and I saw this other train pull up. Just for a minute it pulled up, rode beside me. And I jumped onto it like Indiana Jones and swung through the window, and it took me to L.A. And I got to take this other ride. And then after that ride became too dizzying and too many bends and twists and turns, I ended up going and jumping back on that first train, which is where I am now.
Yeah.
But most people don't ever get to
the
ride
opportunity,
both.
Right.
So it's hard to feel too bad when you get the chance to ride both like that.
That's right. That's a unique experience.
You did too. You got to ride both.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that there might be a third one.
Do we have a third act in us?
I got to admit that the thought of it keeps me going.
Most mornings when I wake up, I feel like I was run over by a train.
Well, welcome to 40.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Right.
Well, hey, thanks again for coming and doing this.
Sure thing.
I always appreciate you putting in the travel time. I think you have a crush on me a little bit too. There's always that element.
Keep showing me those buys. What do you expect? Only flesh and blood.
So for everyone, thanks for tuning in again. We appreciate it.
Download on iTunes if you got it.
Please check us out on iTunes. And if you see us on YouTube, please feel free to comment.
Yeah.
Leave us a little hello. We certainly appreciate it. So we'll see you next time. This has been Catching the Light. Thanks, Jackie.
Yes,
You're
thank you,
welcome.
Jackie. Favorite part of the show.
Yeah. Take care.
All right.